Release and let go of money fears. That's what today's about. So, welcome or welcome back. Here we are again. I love our mornings together. Well, whenever you're watching, might be evening or afternoon, but I love our time together. And as always, we're going to start with 3 deep breaths just to get centered and open to receive. So, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. 1. Let the shoulders drop and relax. 2. Relax and release the jaw. 3. Open to receive the blessings of God and the gifts of the universe. It's going to be a very, very good day today. Today we're reading from my book, A Course in Prosperity. A Course in Prosperity. And this is another one of the Crabby Angels books. And this one is actually 60 days to transform your relationship with money and prosperity. And it's another one of those books, I call them plot books, which is what all the angel books are, where you can just use it as an oracle. You can ask a question or just open it up to a different page every day or go in order or do however serves you. And I like this book in particular because it's nice and small. You can fit it in a backpack or in your purse or whatever to carry around with you for when you're dealing with prosperity and abundance issues. And so we're going to do day number 25, which I absolutely love. And it is I release and let go. And it starts with one of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles that I've been quoting for years. The correction of fear is your responsibility. When you ask for release from fear, you're implying that it's not. You are much too tolerant of mind wandering and are passively condoning your mind's miscreations. So, mind wandering. Oh my gosh, mind wandering. We're much too tolerant of mind wandering and are passively condoning our mind's miscreations, meaning that we have not disciplined our minds to not go into fear, and so we allow ourselves to do things like doom scrolling and getting into conversations about lack and limitation and listening to Susie Orman, who will terrify the shit out of you. All of those kinds of things are not taking responsibility for, I believe in abundance. I believe in Source providing all my needs. I believe that lots can happen. And this goes along with one of my other favorites that I've been saying for 30 years or more, which is the calls are coming from inside the house. So, correcting our fear. God will not take our fear from us because that would be interfering with our free will. So, we're allowed to terrify ourselves all we want, but why would we? So then this is what the angel said. Financial fear is perhaps the most dominant fear on your planet, and this is mostly because you equate money with survival. This is clearly a very low vibrational frequency of thought, and one that must be transformed if you are to thrive and live as joyously as you were meant to. In other words, you must stop terrifying yourself. You're the one who's doing it, you know. The calls are coming from inside the house. Instead, you should be continually soothing yourself into alignment with the higher frequencies by turning away from the media whose sole purpose is to frighten you into doing whatever it is they want you to do on that particular day. You have consulted a higher authority. Remember, the world economy is not your source and never has been. Consciousness is your loving source. So, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Let go of schemes and plans to protect and defend against loss. Let go of survival strategies. Let go of trying to manipulate and control yourself with fear. Remember, you are literally made of stardust and are a luminous vessel of divine light, walking the earth for a while to shine, shine, shine. Therefore, there is nothing to fear. Release fear and worry as you remember that life loves you and love pursues you. Be still and know. And each one of these lessons has what we call a money magic mantra. And the one for today is, there's nothing to fear. I release and let go of all financial fears and worries as I remember that I am royalty in the kingdom and there is nothing I cannot be, do, or have. So, money goes up and down. Money is just energy. Money goes in and out. There is a flow and a circulation. And there's really only two energy patterns in the universe, and that is circulation and congestion. Circulation is health, congestion is death. So, yes, sometimes you have less cash on hand, less money, less of those numbers. We're so numbers oriented. But if we don't freak out, if we don't lose our shit over it, if we stay centered and remember, it's just the circulation. It's like the tide goes in and the tide goes out, and just remain centered and remain calm. Years ago, this was in the 80s, so Marianne Williamson gave this talk, God and Money, and she talked about how in A Course in Miracles, we're taught that the lowest level of prayer is supplication, where we're asking for specific things. And that as we move up what the Course calls the ladder of prayer, our communication becomes less about supplication and asking for things, and simply resting in God and asking that God's will be done, knowing that God's will is always good. All throughout the Course in Miracles, it just keeps saying over and over, God's will is happiness. God's will for you is good. It's not about suffering and learning horrible, hard, ridiculous lessons. It's God's will for you is perfect happiness. And so Marianne was having an issue with money that week, as we all do. Prosperity people have issues with money. You know, a lot of these people you see here on YouTube talk about prosperity don't tell you the whole fucking truth, and they hide a lot of shit because they want to look perfect. Everybody's money goes up and down. That's just the state of energy. But Marianne was very honest. I like to be very honest about these things. You don't teach people by being duplicitous. So she said in this lecture, so one week I was having an issue with money, so I said to God, I assume you're in control here. That's still one of my favorite prayers in the whole world. God, I assume you're in control here. That doesn't mean some dude in the sky who's pulling strings. That means the God consciousness within me is in control here because I've surrendered to it. And that was what her prayer really was. She was surrendering her fear and her worry and thinking, I need to know what to do here, and saying, God, I assume you're in control here. And she says that the next week, so, and this was in the 80s, but a man came forward at the lectures and said, I want to give you this. And he had a check for $1,000. He said, I want to give you this to support your work. And she turned him down. I said, oh, no, that's too much. Someday if I have a nonprofit status, you can give me that kind of money. And she said, I saw the disappointment in his face, and I realized I'd made a mistake, right? Source was in control. The money came, but after I had surrendered, I took control again and said, it shouldn't come that way. It shouldn't come from this thing, or that's too much from one person, or it has to, right? That's what we do a lot of times. We let our mind figure out how, when how is not our part, you know? But our part is to get in alignment and be open to receive and let go of the fear. Oh, by the way, I want to thank Lisa and Michelle and Sandy for donating here to this ministry. But in any case, let it flow. Let go of fear. That's really what this whole book is about, is getting into alignment with abundance and prosperity. And so I am knowing for you a very prosperous and abundant day. I love you, I love you, I love you. Click the like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, go to jacobglass.com where you can find... the thing I love about this book, too, is it has lots of real case stories at the beginning. And that's very fun. So have a great day.